Hello, everybody. We're gonna get started with our live webinar. That's hello. This is Jerry Torres, Vision One Mortgage, and it'll be my pleasure to walk you in the next 30 minutes toward in the different ways that people can buy homes with less than perfect credit, little money, actually with a 0% down payment program. We're gonna be talking about that program and many, many, many things. So let's dive into the content. Okay. This webinar is for you if you're looking to buy, refinance, or upgrade your house today or in the near future and you just don't know where to start. This webinar is for you. If you want to buy a house and you think you don't have enough money to do so, this webinar is for you. If you want to buy a house and you don't think you can do it because your credit is less than perfect, stay tuned and I'm going to show you a couple of good credit repair tips that can boost your FICO in as quickly as 30 days. Yes. We're also going to be reviewing market updates. Is it a good time to buy? What are the experts saying about the market? Our property is going to continue going up. We're going to be discussing many details, many facts throughout this webinar. We're going to be discussing the recommended home buying process that avoids pitfalls, problems, headaches. So you don't want to have none of those when you're buying a house. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to avoid that. We're going to be discussing about creative mortgage programs that allow self-employed people to buy a house without having to show income taxes. Yes, there are programs excellent for people that is self-employed. How to buy a house even if you don't have a legal status in this country, and how to receive free credit repair services if you choose to work with us. So we're gonna discuss the details at the end of the webinar. So stay with me for the next 30 minutes. I would really appreciate it. All right, so my job is to teach you as much as I can in the next 30 minutes. And at the end of this webinar, I'm gonna show you how you can take it a step further with us and book a 30-minute consultation, no obligation. We don't like to put pressure. We don't consider ourselves salespeople. We consider ourselves educators, and our job is to educate. My, Again, my name is Jerry Torres, Vision One Mortgage. I've been in the business for over 17 years. I started this beautiful journey of real estate as a realtor selling houses. Thanks to mentorship and coaching, I quickly became the number one agent in Century 21 Excellence over in Norwalk. Then, because of the mortgage meltdown and the restructuring, I had to make a decision because I could no longer do both loans or sell houses. So I decided to remain as a loan officer. I've been married with my beautiful wife, Yolanda. We have a beautiful family. It's been over 17 years, and she has been my life partner and my business partner since then. I love educating. I started having seminars because I like to teach people that I'm an educator at heart, and I am the first lender, and I take pride in saying this, in hosting live webinars. So let's talk about the news. What's happening in real estate? Is it a good time to buy? A lot of people are talking about a recession. Is a recession coming? Well, let's see what the experts say. But before we dive into what people believe when the recession is hitting, let's define what a recession is. Because many people have this negative connotation about recessions that they tie recessions with housing. But housing and recession, I mean, sometimes they don't have nothing to do with it. So they are two separate things. Now, the recession of 2008 was fueled of the housing, and that's why a lot of people think that when there is a recession, property values drop. So let's first define what a recession is. It is defined as a economic slowdown for 2 quarters, 2 consecutive quarters in the industrial and trade. Okay, so there is nothing that says real estate in the definition. So now, recession does not equal housing crisis. Now, in order to show you this, let me show you what happened in the last 5 recessions. Now, we all know that in the recession of 2008, properties dropped close to 20%. But let's look at the 2001 recession. Properties actually went up 6.6%. And that's typically normal. When The stock market is doing good, the housing market is probably slow, or vice versa. Now, look at 1990. Uh, Property values only dropped 1.9%. So that means that if your property was worth 500,000, the property value in drop was only like $10,000. Ooh, boo-hoo. Okay. Now, look at 1981. Property values actually went up, and in 1980, they went up 6.1%. Now, when will the next recession hit us? According to Pulsonics, which is a survey of 100 of the most renowned analysts in the United States, 50% of them agree that the next recession will hit us next year, probably by the end of 2020. Okay. Now, the same people were interviewed and they were asked, okay, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to fuel the next recession? The number one answer was trade policy, which is tied to the stock market. Number two, stock market correction. The other one is politics. You know, we have a new election coming up. So who knows what's going to happen? Usually they drop the rates during the elections because they want people, hey, vote for me, right? And actually, right now, there's being talks about dropping the rate again for banks to 0%. And that happened back in 2008. So if banks have free money, rates are going to drop. What's going to happen when rate drops? Properties will continue going up. And housing slowdown came up as the number ninth reason or ninth belief, according to this economist, that was going to fuel a correction in the market. Okay, so the top three, they are looking like politics and the stock market. Okay, now let's talk about some real news. Enough with the fake news, right? We all heard that. So now, year over year change in price. What has happened? California, we experienced 4.20% increase as of September 2019. And this information is coming from Corfax. Okay. So home prices have increased steadily since 2011, creating a record amount of home equity and putting homeowners in a good position to weather any future downturns. The principal economist of Corfat recently said that in a report in 2019, in September. Okay, now what is being projected? Corfac is projecting, actually, yeah, CoreLogic is projecting an appreciation of 5.2% nationwide, and they're projecting the properties will continue going up at 8.5% in California. That's what CoreLogic is estimating for next year. So if you have low rates in the 3.5, you have properties going up. Would you agree that it might be a good time to buy? I'm gonna say yes, because if you put it on the sideline, properties will continue going up. And right now, guys, we have some amazing rates. So you wanna lock in the rate for the next 30 years. Now let's talk about rates. These rates are coming from Freddie Mac. The average as of September, right? September 2019, it was 3.58%. So that's pretty low. If you have an interest rate lower, higher than 5%, give us a call so that we can discuss how we can drop it down. Or if you purchase a property as an FHA, okay, there is something called the FHA Streamline, in which all you need to send is a copy of the mortgage statement. That's it. You don't even have to fill out an application or show any documentation, and we might be able to drop that rate from a 5% or whatever the case might be. Like if you bought last year, November, this might be a good time to still lock in on a good rate. Now, what is people saying? What are Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, NAR projecting rates, rate-wise? What's going to happen? They're projecting that the rates will continue to remain at an average of 3.62% for the last quarter, this beautiful the last 3 months of 2019, and they will remain in the high threes for the rest of 2020. Now, being a homeowner has its benefits. Number one, equity. Equity is the difference between what you pay for the property and the appreciation. The beauty of equity is, especially if you buy a property and you occupy it, two out of the last 5 years is that you can earn up to $500,000 in equity and sell the property and you don't pay a penny in taxes. Good or good. Now, it's not the same with an investment. If you have an investment house, there are different ways to lower the tax liability. One of them is, keeping receipts, right? Keeping the cost basis. And the other beautiful benefit about being a homeowner is that you can pay in less in taxes because you are able to write off up to $750,000 in interest. Good or good? Okay, so now real estate investing is seen as something valuable, and when I'm saying valuable, because 90% of the wealthy people they have some sort of real estate holding. Okay, so 90% of the wealthy people cannot be wrong. All right, so now where do you start if you want to buy a house? A lot of people they don't know where to start. They have these fears, they have this negative connotation. Why? What's gonna happen? Am I gonna, be scammed? Can I trust the person that I'm talking to? Can I buy a house? Can I buy a house if my perfect is less than credit? So let's talk about the proper home buying process. Okay. Number one is talking to a loan officer, somebody that will gather all of the paperwork and is going to give you a pre-approval letter. Okay, that pre-approval letter is going to tell you exactly how much you can afford. It's going to tell you your monthly payment, all of the closing costs. So you never want to start looking for properties without being properly pre-approved. Now, once my team and I we have you fully pre-approved, then we're gonna give what is called a DU approval to a real estate agent that is gonna sit down with you, is gonna discover your needs and wants, and choose 2 to 3 properties to take you out and write an offer. Hopefully you like one of those properties, the offer gets accepted. So now we need to open escrow and title. Who's escrow? Escrow is a third neutral party that is going to ensure that all of the terms and conditions stated in the offer are done according to the law. Title will make sure that you're buying a property free of liens. Okay, no liens, no shenanigans on title. That the title is clear. Now, before you close escrow, one of the first things your realtor will do is contact a home inspection company to make sure that you're actually buying a property with good bones. No foundation issues, no roof leaks, the electrical is properly grounded. You don't want to have any surprises the moment that you move. Okay. And now my job as your lender is to make sure that you're buying a property that is actually worth the listed price. Okay. By sending an appraiser over there. What happens if the property doesn't appraise? Now your agent and yourself, you need to talk to the seller to negotiate to bring that property down. And if you're buying as a first-time home buyer, there is one clause called the FHA mandatory clause that says that you're not forced to buy a property that it didn't appraise. Now, there are different types of loans depending on your specific circumstance. If you want to buy a property over $760,000, or depending on the county limits, FHA limits, then you're gonna need a jumbo loan. With the jumbo loan, you have to pay 5% down minimum. So the good news is that we have a jumbo loans up to $5 million. Some of those loans don't have mortgage insurance, which is great. Okay. Now, if you want to buy a house as a first-time home buyer, then FHA is probably one of the best loans out there for you. Okay. If you have 20% down, then you might want to choose to go with the conventional in order to avoid what is called the mortgage insurance again. Now, I keep saying mortgage insurance and mortgage insurance. And what is that? It's an insurance that insures the mortgage, the mortgagee or the lenders. Okay. So, but it doesn't matter if you're buying a property, even if you have to pay mortgage insurance, don't get that, get into your head. Because if you're getting appreciation, deductions, if you're getting all of those benefits, why not pay mortgage insurance? It's just part of the business. Now, if you have served this country by fighting for freedom and you're a veteran, you can buy with the zero down. Usually the closing cost is lower than the typical FHA. And again, no mortgage insurance. Okay. But now, moving on. What if you don't have the money for the down payment? Or even, coming up with a closing cost is a challenge for you. What can you do? Well, CalHAFA, the California Housing Finance in California, offers a great solution. You have the ability to finance the down payment. Yes, it's called the CalHAFA. Now, how does it work? Well, with the CalHAFA, you are given the typical FHA loan for 96.5%. That is the first loan. The down payment, which is 3.5, you can finance it in the form of a silent second. Meaning, when we say silent second, means that you have the ability to make a payment, but you don't have the obligation. Now, this loan is fully amortized for 30 years and it's repayable when you refinance or sell the property. And you need to have a 640 FICO in order to obtain down payment assistance. Okay. Last time I checked the rate on the first, it was 3%. Okay, so that is the rate. The APR might be like 3.5. Okay. So now, what if you need even more help with the closing costs? Now, CalHAFA offers what is called the ZIP, zero interest program, in which they give you the ability to finance up to 3%, 3% of the closing costs to help you get into the property with as little money as possible. Yes, you will need some sort of money, between 1 to 1.5% or 2%, depending. And you're gonna need that money to put the deposit to cover your appraisal and home inspection. So, like 1.5%. So you still need a little bit of skin in the game. But you can buy a property financing the down payment. Great. So now, when you make the decision to apply for a mortgage, there are three factors that all lenders are going to look into. They're going to review before giving you, extending you an approval on a loan. What are those main factors? Number one, legal status. Generally speaking, most mortgage programs, especially if you're looking to get down payment assistance, they want to see that you have a legal status in this country, that you are a U.S. citizen or national resident, permanent resident, or that you have asylum, that you are a refugee. Okay. If you see that your category is not there, that you have some other type of visa, give us a call and we can always answer those questions for you, specific questions. Now, what happens if you don't have a legal status in this country? Can you still buy a house? And the answer is yes. This is the land of opportunity. If you came to work, you're good, you know how to manage your money, you are able to save 20% down, you might be able to qualify for what is called the ITIM program. The ITIM program, it's money from private investors. Okay. They give you the ability to buy a property, single family, condo, even units. You don't need to have a social security number. Even some properties that wouldn't typically qualify because of the condition, you can, because again, this is private money. Okay, so they will lend you up to 80%, and you have to have the difference in the form of a down. Now, the second factor that all lenders will consider before giving you a loan is income. Income, it has to be predictable and verifiable. So if you're an employee, you're going to have to show W-2s. K-1s if you have corporations, Schedule E if you are a landlord, and a 1099 miscellaneous if you have miscellaneous income, or 1099-G if you're a lucky gambler. I have a question. It says, turn up your speaker volume. Okay. Special request. More volume. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. Other sources of income. Overtime, bonuses, second job, seasonal income, anything that is income, even social security, can help you qualify for a mortgage. Okay. Now, when it comes to social security, you don't need to disclose it if you don't want to, but it can help you qualify for more. All right. What if you cannot prove your income, or I don't know, you just don't want to show me your income taxes? Can you still buy a house? The answer is yes. There are bank statement loan programs out there, and this is ideal for self-employed people. Okay. Or I've helped people that are traders, in the stock market. They don't have a per se like a fixed income, but they're trading. their two Bitcoins, whatever. So this is a way that they can buy a property. They need to put 10% down, so the banks will only lend you 90%. The FICO score could be as low as 600, and you can buy up to $5 million. One property, yeah, 5 million bucks. You can do so. You can buy a property owner occupied, second homes, or even investment. And the beauty of this program is, again, private money. You can buy within 2 years after foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, deed in lieu. Good or good. Now, what is the third factor that all lenders will look into before giving you a mortgage? And that is FICO. Three digits that will dictate the rate, the down payment that you can receive, whether you can finance the down payment. It'll say a lot about you. Okay, so a lot of people don't know how to build a good credit. Good credit means that you pay your bills on time. 35% of your payment history will help you show that you're a responsible individual and that you pay your debts on time. The other 30% is how much you owe or credit utilization. So meaning, if you have a credit card with a 10,000 line of credit, if you want to have good credit, never charge more than $3,000. And if you wanna have phenomenal credit, never charge more than 10%. Okay. So this is one of those quick fixes, within 30 days. A lot of people come to us, I want to buy a house. Your lines of credits are maxed out, you have a low FICO. So we will tell you, okay, bring them down to 30%, your FICO goes up, end of story. A lot of people come to us, Jerry, I have no FICO whatsoever. I'm a student, I just graduated, whatever, or I graduated last year. I don't believe in credit, whatever the case may be. I would ask you to, number one, apply for a secured line of credit. Give a $300, $400 deposit with Capital One. Within, I guarantee you, like within 30 days, you should have a 640 FICO or above if you get a secure line of credit. A lot of people say, well, I have a brother or sister that can they add me to the lines of credit? They can do that. And FICO, again, within 30 days, it will go up. So the other 10% is credit mix. Lenders want to see that you're responsible, that you have student loans, retail accounts, credit cards, that you have different kinds of credit. Length of history, the longer you have credit, the better it is. And 10% will be new credit. All right. So now, can you buy a house if you have a 580 FICO? The answer is yes. You can buy a house as a first-time home buyer by giving 3.5% down with a 580 FICO. Can you believe it? Yes, it's possible. Now, what if your FICO is below 580? Can you still buy? The answer is yes, because we can help you with that. If your FICO is 580, we offer, well, we don't do that, but we have a great person in our team that they do credit repair. So they know the law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They know that creditors need to verify the information before it enter into your credit report. And guess what? TransUnion, Equifax, they don't verify anything. They don't ask you for forgiveness or permission to do so. So there are laws out there that protect consumers. So if your FICO is 580, or you want to maybe boost it to 640 to buy with the zero down, we are we're willing to refund you for the credit repair services up to $700. Usually the guy that we use, the person that we use for this only charges $80 per trade line, and only if he is successful in removing. So it's a very honest person that we have seen results. So if you have horrible credit, if you think you have horrible credit, give us a call. Let us take a look at your credit and we can guide you in the right way. All right. So now, if you're tired of living in a small place, if you're tired of your landlord increasing your rent every year, if you're tired of people telling you what music to play or not to play, or your kids running on the second floor and creating noise, if that's the case, then it might be a good time to buy. The holiday season is just around the corner. If you love entertaining in Thanksgiving, trick or treat, Halloween, I don't know, then this might be the time to buy a property. Okay. Now, usually the market there is less buying competition. So what does that mean for borrowers? You might have the ability to ask for credit or more repairs to the property. So I love the holiday season for those reasons. All right, so if you have any specific questions, again, you can book a 30-minute no obligation consultation by going to jerrytorres.pro/consult. And the first 5 people to book a consult right after this webinar, we're going to throw in an amazing bonus. Okay, because we believe that once you become a homeowner, you need to protect your assets. Okay, and your property could be one of your most valuable assets. So how do you protect your assets against probate? By having a living trust. Okay, a living trust is a document that will dictate where the property goes in the event that you go to a better life. Because if you don't have a plan, the government has a plan for you. But what if you let the government dictate how your assets are going to be distributed? If you have a property, between 300,000 to $1 million, it will probably cost you between 3 to 4%. And if you don't have a living trust, guess what? You must hire a realtor to sell your property, and they're going to charge you at least 5%. So if you want to avoid this mess, okay, then, book an appointment with us. We're going to pay for the living trust services. Okay, I have 2 questions before I go. Can you send us the recorded link? Yes, I can do that. It's very informative. Hard process for the first time. Our process is not hard. It's easy. You just reach out to us and we'll let you know exactly what to do. Okay. So the value of the living trust, 2,500. Go to jerrytorres.pro/consult. Looking forward to helping you reach your dreams and giving you, or actually, I'm not gonna give you the keys because I'm the lender, but connecting you with the right real estate professional so that you can buy a property as quickly as possible. So thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye bye now. And